Good morning, afternoon. Okay, music, after tune. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Thanks for tuning in. This is a message from Spirit. And I get my messages really, I think there's different layers. So mine are like up in more in the spiritual realm. I don't get really messages too much about down here and what's happening down here. And there's a place for everyone. But I did get a message the other day that was a little scary for me because I like mine to be a little more happy. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. To me, it says surrender to a higher power, which is what I think we all need to do. But it was the Statue of Liberty lied down and she held up the torch. And to me that said surrendering to a higher power. So it doesn't, I don't think it means anything about other countries taking over us or anything like that. Because my messages are from a higher realm. So I think it's more about surrendering to a higher power and us needing to do that. And if you have like fear about God or religion, it's not about any of that, because it's really just love, energy, your higher self that is everything. So however you think about it, but it's not really God or religion. I say God because I was raised that way, so but sometimes that does mess me up too, because when you think of God, you think like this man in the sky with a crown and a beard, and it's not really like that. God is everything. Okay, so that being said, I had that vision. I had another vision that was a little bit scarier. It was a big boat, but I don't think that this is, again, this is not on the human realm. So it was just symbolic of what is happening. So there was a big boat and it became unstable. Half of it collapsed and the whole boat started to go under, and then the water just sucked it down. And I said, how can we get back up? How can the people that are getting sucked down, because they're getting sucked down emotionally by what they're seeing in the world, they're getting scared and their fear is sucking them down. And God just said, love will lift you up. So those are the messages that I got a couple nights ago. But yesterday I was talking about how I was feeling like I was being pushed into like maybe a new timeline or a new calling. I've been being pushed for a while, but it felt like the night before last night, God was like, okay, it's time. It's time for you to really step into this new role. And I got really scared because I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to support myself in this new role? But then I meditated after I did my reading, and more of what I got was, it's okay. What you need to do is step into the idea of this, because this is coming, and I will be led. You will be led. But you have to know that this is coming, so you need to get ready, prepare yourself mentally. So I was able to do that, and then I came out of fear and out of that victim mentality and was able to energize myself and activate myself. So that was really all it is. So I'm just sharing that because these things may happen to you too, and also I think it's important for people to model, like, I think it's just important for everyone to know that you're okay, that you're safe, and that you're being guided and led. You're being divinely protected and guided. Just stay in love and gratitude as much as you can, but also honor whatever other feelings come up for you, like sadness, fear, shame. Honor those feelings and acknowledge them. I teach this model, just AVCs. Acknowledge, and I do it as like if it was my inner child, to separate and not overwhelm. Acknowledge, I feel you scared. Validate, of course you're scared, you're telling yourself this story, or your perception is. And then What do you need right now? And sometimes it's like I need to say to God, how can I see this differently? And sometimes it's just sitting with that emotion and cradling it and caring for it. These are scary times right now, but we're entering a new realm. We're entering a beautiful, beautiful realm of where we can actually create heaven on earth. And it's all inside of us. We just have to get rid of the illusion. So we are being disillusioned right now. We are coming out of the illusion. So crazy things are going to happen to you if they haven't already. And they're just telling you, this is not real. This is ridiculous. This is not real. So that's all they're telling you. They're telling you to wake up. This is not real. I just had a card come out, jump out. This child orphan. Okay, so we're going to explore that one. What other... Oh, this is from the Carolyn Myss Archetypes deck. If you're new to my channel, I do a lot of silence. I do a lot of teaching how to take care of your emotions. I start with a Course in Miracles usually. Did I do that already? I don't think so. And then I do some Carolyn Myss archetype cards just to let us know what are these big patterns that we're working with. And I do a lot of shadow work. I use the Light Seers Tarot and the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. And this is not to say that I'm not going to change what I'm using, but I've been using these for a while. And so that's what I'm using right now to communicate with Spirit and to get messages from Spirit. You can all do this yourselves. Learn to listen to your higher power, your spirit. Well, it is really all of ours together, but there are different layers, like I'm telling you. There's different layers. So you have a soul, a spirit that's connected to everything. And so you'll get your own messages. And it's usually through whatever things that you like to do. Like I get messages out in nature, and they're just kind of knowings. I have had a few auditory messages, and sometimes at night and towards the morning, I'm getting a little bit more visual ones now, just like the ones that I just told you about. But I'm more like clairsentient feeling. I feel things. That's my dominant way of getting messages. But God speaks through everything because God is everything. So it's about aligning and tuning in and just listening to the messages that you get from everyone. What are the messages that you're getting? Okay, so the lesson for today is lesson 217. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And it's a review of lesson 197. It can be but my gratitude I earn. Who should give thanks for my salvation but myself? And how, but through salvation, can I find the self to whom thanks are due? I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. So I think that's about establishing that connection with yourself, with your inner self that's connected to God. That all of the experiences you've had in life have been due to you and due to God, something that you signed up for in order to express something in the world. And when I was going through my divorce, I was getting a lot of spiritual messages, and God would ask me things, and I would say yes to them, and I don't know what I was saying. My human does not know what I was saying yes to, but the only thing that it knows is that if this is about love, God, I'm in. I'm signing up. If you want me to help bring love into the world, I'm in. So I don't know what I signed up for, but that's also why I was scared yesterday, because I'm like, what did I sign up for? What did I say yes to? Um, but if I'm being grateful to myself that signed up for all this, I know I like adventure. I like new things, new experiences, and I like partnership. And so I think that whatever it is, it will probably be fun and I will enjoy it. And when you reach like a higher level, you do start to let go of fear. You can easily move back into it, but your spirit's guiding you at that point, and so you'll be surprised how it's not scared. It's not scared because it knows that God is everything and God is love, and this is illusion. So it's breaking down. It's breaking down that illusion. Okay, come on. Do we have any other cards here, or are we just dealing with this one? So we got the Child Orphan, which is independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Okay, so I think I'm working with I don't know, but I think I'm working with the next generation of light workers, or light workers now. The light workers that are, I'm not really sure. But the messages that I was getting is that a lot of us have really did feel like we were on our own, and we developed all kinds of resilience and survival skills, and we are going to need those and be using those very soon. Don't be afraid about that. I know. Or if you're afraid, just put your hand over your heart and say, I feel you afraid, and it's going to be okay. So the shadow attributes of this card are feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. So I think it's getting stuck in fear. And seeking inappropriate surrogate families, like wanting somebody else to take care of you. And that is something that happens. It's pretty normal. Like when you weren't cared for or loved, you're always looking for that. But once we recognize that God is doing that for us and our higher self is doing that for us, we have all kinds of help and guidance around us from higher realms, we can let go of that, and we can move into using those tools and those skills that we learned. We have this. We have an understanding. We have the tools that we need to do our mission here, whatever it is. It is so rainy out. It's been so rainy and dark and gloomy here. I just got, the sun will come out tomorrow. Okay. Martyr. Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Okay, so that's the light side. Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. I guess what I was talking about with that thing where I said I would do whatever you wanted if it was bringing love into the world. I'm in. Shadow attribute is addiction to self-pity. Okay, and that is, you can see that with the martyr, self-pity. It gets into victimhood. Okay, so we don't want to go there, but we want to know, and we won't go there as long as we know that we're connected to spirit and there's a higher force guiding us. As long as we know that, we won't get into that self-pity, because we are connected. So remember your connection, see your connection all around you, feel your connection inside of you. Your connection to God, the divine, love, light, energy, a higher power, even your ancestors, because they're still here. They're just in spirit form. I was listening to Victor Otto. I like him, ODDO. He's one of my guides or helpers, or I don't know what you would call it, spirit guides, I don't know. And he was saying how like it's all happening at the same time. Somebody else I heard said it's unraveling. So we are all of these It just depends the perspective that you, it just depends because there's layers and there's different perspectives. So there's specters. Specters, just light layers really, you know. But don't get into that because that's all mental. So stay in the love and the heart. Try and stay in the love and the heart. That's going to get you where you want to go. And your spirit. Okay, we got another one. Mystic. Okay. So child, orphan, martyr, and mystic. So I do, like, these messages are for me and for you. And that's just the way that I work. So the mystic is the light attribute revels in intimate union with the divine. And the shadow attribute is delusional rapport with the divine. So maybe kind of forcing it or wanting it, or and then you're not really believing. You're not really. So when I got that message a couple of days ago, like, you got to leave this behind. You're entering your new role. And I was like, because I was like, you know, like, there's different layers of belief and trust too. And I was like, you know, sometimes I'm having trouble finding words. I was guided out of my marriage and into a whole new life, and that was very unsettling, but I had support the whole way. And God told me at that time that I would also be guided into a new role. And I had time to settle, and I had time to calm down, and I had time to heal before that happened. But I knew this was coming. And just because of my experience from being like so unsettled, like, there's some fear around it. There's fear around moving into the next phase or stage, or because it's change. And change can be really unsettling. Okay, so I'm going to get some cards from the Light Seers Tarot. Oh, there's some that are upside down. The Five of Cups is upside down. And on the other side, the Chariot. Okay, we'll see if those come out later. The Five of Cups and the Chariot. But also the other day I was feeling a little bit bored and stagnant where the way things were. So I was feeling like we were at a stage, because I've learned to feel these cycles where something new had to come in. Something new has to come in. And so it will, but that means some old stuff, it has to break down and leave. So that's what's happening now. So what do we need to know from the Light Seers Tarot? How can we understand the child, orphan, the martyr, the mystic? To me, it says, this is happening. This is what is happening. You're going to be using everything that you learned in your previous life, all that resilience, all that conquering the fear of surviving. So you conquered that. And now you're going to transcend that for a cause, in service to yourself and or a cause. It's going to be in service to yourself and a cause. And mine was love. Mine was bringing love and being, I think it's carrying on the work of Louise Hay, being safe to express and feel love in this world. So that's what we're bringing in, this new world where we can be loving to each other. We are love, and we can express that. And then the mystic is revels in intimate union with the divine. So this is going to be a journey with God. It's going to be a journey with God. So knowing, and that gets you out of the martyr, you know. You're not alone. You're doing this with God, with your spirit, with the higher realm. And you can trust that. So I was also told I will get messages. So just to be ready and to think of myself in that way, to know that I am going to be entering that. And for me, it's like a spiritual guide or teacher, and possibly spiritual coaching is what I'm going to be doing. But I don't know. I just know that that's what I've been preparing for. But I think it has to do with the priest, or the priest card, the mystic, and the something like that. I mean, I did get a vision where, okay, we got the 9 of Pentacles, it's upside down. I did get a vision where I was supposed to get a trailer, or I might be getting a trailer and going around the country, kind of spreading messages of love. I don't know if that's the one that I'm going to be doing, or if it's something else. I will be getting more messages, I know. Judgment. Oops. You see the Judgment, like her spirit is coming out. She's lifting up. And that is kind of what I saw when I saw the boat going over. And that's like metaphorical and on a higher level. So it's not the boat going over in this world. It's just a symbol of that. So whatever that means to you. The boat capsizing. But I think that's all part of the illusion and coming out of the illusion. And then the 9 of Cups. Okay, so the 9 of Pentacles. And we got it upside down. So the shadow side is need to evaluate your relationship with work. Can indicate material success while feeling alone, a workaholic, the realization that money alone will never be enough, financial delays, the pressure to appear more successful than you are. But the light side of that is spiritual and material satisfaction, personal achievement, inner peace, milestones met and celebrated, the energy of a successful harvest, contentment. Okay. I've also been getting that message that we need to celebrate, and I think it's celebrating our past and what we learned from it and what we achieved. So that's what this card is saying to me. I enjoy the bliss and abundance that I have sown. So whatever you have been doing, how that, you know, how you have kind of graduated that. You achieved what you wanted to achieve. Whew. Yeah. And you've gone as far as you could go, and you know that. So celebrate that. And then the judgment is self-realization and understanding, a spiritual awakening. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. Spiritual awakening, knowing your motives and your heart to be true. Total transparency, a glorious unveiling of spirit. Okay, you're ready to enter this new world, new timeline, if you want to call it that. And then the Nine of Cups. Love and happiness and abundance. See, there's a treasure chest next to her. And we've been getting that treasure chest in the Wisdom of the Oracle. I open my grateful heart to the gifts that are coming my way. Okay, so being ready to receive, being ready for that. The universe is gifting you your desire, choosing joy, manifested dreams, gratitude, and abundance. And that was right side up. Choosing joy, manifested dreams, gratitude, and abundance. That's what we're being called to do. Let go of that old stuff. Celebrate how far you've come. Let go of it and move into what you know is right and true and real. Your spirit. Move into that. Move into that. And I also listen to a lot of the twin flame stuff. Women are leading this. So if you're a woman, you need to lead this, because the men will follow, but we are lifting them out of it. And I did a family constellation before, after, I did one with this guy, Jack, I think his name is Jack Blackwell or something. He did one with men and women. It was really cool. It was people from all over the world. And I was a part of that. And after that, I did kind of my own experience where I was reaching out a hand to men and lifting them up and out. And so we are leading. So we have to really be in our hearts and be in whatever's guiding us. We have to be actually selfish in this time, because we were not selfish in our past lives, but now is the time for us to be selfish. What do you want? And you do it. Do whatever you want. Do whatever it is you want, because that's going to lead you to your gift. Okay, so I am going to pull some cards from the Wisdom of the Oracle. What else can you tell us about this new journey that we're on? What do we need to know right now that can help us? Also, I've been doing this meditation from, what is it called? I can't remember. But it's about manifesting, but it's being in the flow. And so the image that I got was just being in a tube, in a pool, you know, with one of those rivers that they make. They're like the man-made ones with the pool, because I like everything well, I saw that, so, and everything was clear, so that's cool. It wasn't a river or anything, it was a pool. And I was in the pool with my boyfriend, and we were on floats, and we were just floating down the river. And life and God was taking us where we needed to go. And so it was this relaxing, this message of like, relax, because you're in God's hands and you will be taken where you need to go. So you don't need to worry about that, and you don't need to try to figure it out. Okay, so we got 3 cards. We got the Observer, And that's what I was telling you. Just pay attention to the messages that you're getting. Stepping back and not being in fear, but stepping back and just observing. What are you hearing? What are those messages? Never ending story, 37. And a change in the wind. Okay. So these observers number 49. Perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. Yeah. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. Okay, so the never-ending story. She looks like she's in despair. But underneath her, I think there's a clock. But it's a heart-shaped clock and a bowl. So I think we're about to come out of this. Self-criticism, the wounded ego, unnecessary dramas. So that's that like martyr, the self-pity in the martyr. And it's underneath the martyr. There is a story woven through the imperfect fabric of life that tells of hurt and loss, rejection and humiliation, self-loathing and arrogance, and all manner of suffering born of unnecessary dramas. It is the old story, whose refrain is that you cannot do this, you must not go there, you should not say that, lest your world come crumbling down. Today, know that none of this is actually true. I was just working with somebody yesterday with this same thing. The sky is not falling. The voice you hear is just a small, scared, conditioned part of you that got stuck in a lie and it wants to protect you and needs to be seen as a victim. Love that lost piece of you. That's what I was telling you. Just love that, just acknowledge. I feel you scared. I love you. You are safe. And let it know you're listening. I hear you. I'm with you. Fear is all it knows. Distorted guidance is preventing you from being true to yourself. You are not your story. And the narrator is simply the voice of your fearful part, small and vulnerable and easily soothed. Okay, fine. You must learn to love yourself through missteps and sabotaging moments. Use criticism constructively right now. Better yet, stop telling this story altogether. Make up a new one. The universe loves you deeply and will wait for you to figure that out. Tell a new story, and success is all but guaranteed. You can do it. So you are being asked, what do you want right now? Who do you want to be? Okay, and then a change in the wind. Whew. I'm yawning, and that means letting go of toxicity. A sense that and it's number 12, which would be a 3, and expansion. A sense that unseen change has been initiated, yes. Preparation for a storm, awareness that your plans are not on firm ground, feeling a shift, uncertainty about which direction the winds will blow. Okay, so just imagine yourself in one of those floats. You're going to be carried, you can relax, you're going to be carried to where you need to go. That's the message I've been getting. It's human nature to yearn for certainty and resist change, to want the world to remain consistent like a zebra's stripes, yet nothing in human experience is black and white. Nor will anything remain static. The one thing guaranteed is change. Now is a time of transformation as outer conditions are temporarily moving out of sync with your desires and expectations. Stay the course and remember that even storms serve to clear the air, scatter seeds, and nourish the soil for better things ahead. Life is about to get interesting. Anticipate it with curiosity. Be that, take a step back. Maybe meditate. That can be very helpful. As you wonder what is coming in on the shifting winds, the unknown is where the magic lies. Okay, so now I think I'm just going to go back to the Course in Miracles lesson, which is, it can be my gratitude I earn. Who should give thanks for my salvation but myself? So thank yourself for getting through everything that you got through, because you're now entering a place where you don't need to do it alone. And you're going to be guided and helped. So be grateful and happy that you are not alone. You're not doing this alone anymore. Okay. And you're not a body, you're free. You are still as God created you. Whew. I think it means you are still, I emphasize the still because that's where you find God, but you're still as God created you. So you are as God created you. This world did not change you. It gave you lessons, and it gave you resilience. It gave you skills. It gave you things that you need to bring into the world and help other people with. It gave you all that, experiences and learnings. That's what you're going to use now. Those are your gifts. It gave you those gifts. And that's what you're going to use now for your mission. But you're not alone, and you're coming out of this, and you're going to be supported and guided. And these are the things that I've been told too, is that, or the messages I've been getting is that when you get to this other side, which I'm in the middle right now. I'm in the middle of two worlds. You're going to see all these people that are there helping you. They've been there and they're waiting for you. And that's so beautiful, right? Like you're going to just experience that you're not alone. And I'll tell you when I get there too. So then you, I think I had like a little foreshadow the other day, because I had created a video, and it was from last year, right before I realized I needed a divorce. No, actually I had realized that I needed a divorce, but so I had been through a really rough week realizing that, and I had gotten together with friends, and they were uplifting me. So I think that was a little foreshadow of what's to come. But it looks really dark right now. It looks really dark out there. And I'm still feeling that and seeing that. I'm still feeling like, really, when's this coming? Because it looks really dark out there. But the messages I'm getting is that it's coming. And even what I sang to you before, the sun will come out tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Okay. So, namaste. The light in me sees the light in you and knows that it's okay to let that light shine out into the world. And as I told you before, I see myself as the Queen of Cups in tarot. And I always see that Queen of Cups pose from this tarot deck, the Light Seers tarot deck. Okay, go in peace and love to serve the world. And so it is. And so you remember.